My guest today is a 3-time Tony Award nominee who has moved into Maple Avenue playing Helen Bechtel in the Tony-winning musical Fun Home. She's appeared on Broadway in 10 shows, including The Phantom of the Opera, The Secret Garden, Showboat, Sound of Music, The Music Man, Mary Poppins, and Cinderella. Hey there, Rebecca Luker.
Hi, Paul.
You've done a lot.
Is it 10?
10 shows is your 10th show.
Oh my God,
I figured it out for you.
I thought it was 9. I've lost count.
Nope. See, I like letting people know where they're at. And when you really look at what you've done, you've been able to do so many amazing roles.
Yeah, I've been very lucky. Very different. A lot of them long runs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So now you're in a short run.
Yes.
You stepped into Fun Home.
Very short run.
Judy Kuhn is out of the show. She's having surgery.
Yep.
And then here you are.
Yep.
And you've been handed this really rich, beautiful role, and I got to see you do it, and I just want to get this out of the way. You are spectacular.
Thank you.
In the show, and the song Days and Days and Days and Days, I mean I love that song.
Yeah, it's
and
so good.
you are nailing it, and I was crying, and it was a mess.
You are so sweet. Yeah, it's a good song. It's a good song. I'm so lucky to have this job. 7 weeks. It's almost halfway
7-week
over.
run.
And I'm just, I leave May 22nd, and I'm savoring this whole last month.
So was this sort of an unexpected thing that came your way?
It was unexpected. I think around the first of the year, they were putting out feelers for different things and different replacements for the show, or maybe for the tour, or whatever they were looking for. And they probably knew Judy was, going to leave for a little while. So I wasn't sure exactly what they were looking for, but I loved the show, I loved the role, and so I said, sure, I'll sing for you, I'll read for you, and I just never thought that anything would happen with it. So I'm really, really happy about it.
So you are Helen Bechtel,
Yeah.
and she's a real woman.
Yeah.
She walked the earth.
She's a real woman. It's a true story.
Fun Home was a graphic novel that Alison Bechtel wrote, and then there was a second one about Helen.
Yeah, there is a second one called Are You My Mother, which I'm actually in the process of reading now. It's very different. Very different portrayal of her mother in that one. A little bit, her mother's a little more difficult, a little more arch. It takes place after Alison is more grown up.
Do you find Alison's writing and drawings informative? Is that sort of helpful to this, or is the musical just sort of a totally different beast?
No, I do find it helpful, how she saw her life and her parents, and I used all that in the show. And I, of course, watching Judy do it, and working with Sam Gold and Janine and Tesori, and it's all been wonderful.
What is it like performing it in the round at the Circle and the Square?
It's so different.
Anyone who has never been to the Circle and the Square, see the show just to be in that theater.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so
amazing.
incredible to get to see a show like that in a space like that.
Very amazing. It seems like it's the absolutely perfect theater for this show. And it's my first experience with theater in the round. So
First ever?
First ever.
Not even like some summer stock somewhere?
No, nothing.
Wow.
Nothing even close. At first, it was slightly off-putting. The audience is right there on your level, and then they go up. They're surrounding you completely.
They are surrounding you.
There's no turning up stage to cough or whatever, and there's no hiding.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's as if the audience is a part of the experience that we're having. It's like we're all doing this together, and you're very aware of them, and it's a wonderful thing for me.
Normally when I see a show in the round, especially at that theater, I find myself just staring at people across from me.
I know.
And just like getting wrapped up in their lives and making up stories about them. And I don't even know who was over there. I wasn't even looking at them.
Right.
Although there was one girl in the front row that was losing her mind. She was like the biggest fan girl ever for Fun Home. I wanted to meet her after, but...
there are a lot of Uber fans, we call them.
Yeah, and
they come to the show a lot.
And it was so cool to see a young girl
Yes.
who is somehow touched by this, such an adult show. You know what I mean? It's such a sophisticated piece of theater, and it's so great to think of her absorbing all of that.
Very much, but I think it's a show that speaks to all ages, because of course we all had dysfunctional families in one way or another, and conflicts with our parents, and about who we were and who they thought we should be, and there's something to relate. Everyone can relate to. And at the curtain call, of course, that's when I look at the audience, and they're all. I mean, it's amazing. They're all. So many people are moved after the show to tears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were also reunited with Michael Cerveris.
Yes.
Who you did Passion.
We did.
Together. You were screwing around in a bed together in Passion, right?
We were.
I love thinking of that. You guys were so passionately in love in that, and now you're in this dysfunctional marriage. And look what happened to those two lovers.
Look what happened. 14 years later, we can't even touch each other. Yeah, it's so sad. What that relationship that they have in Fun Home. What I'm trying to do is to show that Helen they were happy once.
Yeah.
You know, they did love each other once, and she does want to stay in this family because she loves her children and she has a pretty rich life. But what she is dealing with is very difficult too, and it's a very complicated story.
Yeah. So let's go back to Alabama, can we?
Sure.
Not actually.
Literally?
Let's just talk about it.
Okay.
You grew up in Alabama.
I did.
Like rural Alabama?
Birmingham, Alabama. I was born in the city, really, the suburbs,
Okay.
and then my family moved when I was 5 to Helena, which is about 20 miles south of Birmingham.
Okay. So, and what did your parents do?
My dad was he worked in a building supply store, and then he opened his own construction business, and he sort of drew house plans, and he was an inventor, and he was a very interesting man. Died young.
Yeah.
And my mother is still alive, very young, 81.
Wow.
And she was the school secretary, school clerk, school treasurer, high school. So my mom was around during my high school years.
And you weren't naturally surrounded by a theater. You weren't you weren't in the heart of the theater. You weren't in a theater town.
Not at all. We were a musical family though. So church, I sang in every choir at school and church that I could get my hands on, and every ensemble. And my mother was a beautiful soprano, and but no formal training.
You share a beautiful soprano with your mom?
Oh, yes.
Have you ever sung with her?
Yeah, she has a very lovely lyric soprano voice. And,
wow.
And she taught me to sing from a very young
Wow.
age, matching pitches at the piano when I was like 2 or something.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, but so she was highly influential. She got me into voice lessons when I was 16 without asking me. I signed you up at the local university.
And you were like a pageant girl.
Well, a little bit,
you
because
did a pageant.
I was Southern and we all did that. I was
You had to. It was
ashamed
required.
to say. But yeah, I was. I won Dream Girl when I was 16 at my high school.
You're the
Lord,
dream
can't believe I'm
girl.
talking about it. Dream Girl, and then I was first runner-up in Miss Alabama Junior Miss, or Alabama Junior Miss, which was great because I got a scholarship. My whole college was paid for.
And was your talent singing?
It was.
And what did you sing?
I sang much more from the Fantastics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was fun.
So that was probably your first show tune you nailed.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure I nailed it, but yeah, I was probably not very good.
So what was your first musical? I remember reading that you wanted to do some show in school, and it was like you wanted to play like a druggy role.
Oh, yes.
What was that?
My high school
Yeah.
never did a musical when I was there. I mean, it was just horrible.
Yeah.
But we did plays sometimes. Okay. And when I was a freshman, we actually did Go Ask Alice.
I've heard of that play, but it's like it's like a 60s.
Yeah,
isn't
60s.
Like
there was a movie, a really great movie,
Right.
or I loved the movie, and it was just about this young woman who just went down the wrong path and was destroyed by drugs. And I wanted to play one of the drugged out teenagers, her friends,
Right.
And my drama
because
teachers.
you naturally look like a drugged out
Because
teenager,
why not?
soprano girl.
I know, it's just
from
so
church.
far from that. And the drama teacher goes, no, I'm sorry. You have to play Alice's therapist because nobody's going to believe that you're a drugged out teenager. So I had to put my hair in a bun and glasses on and be, her therapist.
So
it started
one.
there. I start my path of never playing mean or weird characters. Began there.
So what was the first show you did? You went and did a show on the road, or you went and did theater?
I did a little community theater in college, and I met a few New York characters, and that's how I eventually made it up here. So I moved to New York in '85 and just did a little summer stock, and then I got Phantom pretty soon after that.
I was obsessed. I mean, I still am obsessed with Phantom.
Are you?
oh my God, yes. And I remember you're Christine. But you were actually, you were you were like the first.
I was probably the third main Christine.
Right, because so you got the role. You moved to New York.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of years where you just were looking for work, right? I want to know what was that girl like? I want to know about Rebecca Luker, who got off the bus in New York City, and what were you like? If you had an Instagram account then, what would it look like? What kind of photos would we see? What were you up to?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was very lucky. I came here with an agent.
Oh, wow.
Which is,
How'd you do that?
I met him in Detroit, Michigan at the Michigan Opera Theater where I was doing Sweeney Todd with Judy Kaye.
Okay.
And she said, I want my agent to meet you. And he said, if you move to New York, I'll sign you. So I knew that
So it was Judy Kaye's agent?
Judy Kaye's agent, Brett
That's
Adams.
awesome.
The late Brett Adams. And so I knew I had an agent, which saved my life.
Because you got here and you were actually able to go on real auditions.
Yes, because I was so green, I would not have known the first thing to do. I would have just been lost,
Right.
you know. So that was very, very lucky. It was amazing to move to New York City. You know, I lived with a friend in like 16th floor in the Upper West Side of this building, and I was kind of terrified to go out the first day and walk around, and I didn't know anything. And
What were you doing for
I
money?
came here with I came here with a little bit of money I borrowed from my family, and you know, just enough to pay rent every month. And I mean, there's a lot to be said for youthful, you know, for naivete.
Right.
And
Right.
I believed that I would work, and I did.
Right.
You know, I got a job right away at Town Hall doing those, you know, that used to be sort of like the Encore series at Town Hall,
Yeah.
Bill Tynes' company. And I immediately got some leads in those concerts, and then I started doing summer stock. I got Leave It to Jane. My very first, I got my equity card at Goodspeed doing Jane and Leave It to Jane.
Oh, okay.
So I was lucky. I mean, I you know, I had a certain voice and a certain look. I moved here in my early 20s, and I was just lucky because I made a lot of mistakes, and I was just terrible in most of the auditions I went in, and I didn't know anything.
When do you think you like figured it out, and when did you?
Well, as I went, you know, I on the job.
Yeah.
I mean, literally.
Right. On the job training.
My agent would send me on these auditions. I had not the first idea what to do. I tell young actors all the time, before you go into an audition, you need to really, really be prepared and know a lot about the play you're doing and the accent that they want you to do and the whole thing. So I was just awful half the time, but at the things I felt comfortable with, I excelled, and I was just lucky, and I got cast, and you get confidence, and you go from there.
So you got in the ensemble of Phantom, and then you ended up playing Christine. You covered it, right? When Sarah Brightman
they
was there.
hired me to be Sarah Brightman's understudy.
Okay.
And
you were in the ensemble.
And I was
you
in
played
the ensemble as well.
Well, you weren't one of the ballet girls. You were like
no, I was the princess. I was the mirror bride that falls out of the mirror.
Oh my God, you were that one?
I was that mirror bride.
Wait, you got to do that?
Yes.
That's amazing. That's one of my favorite roles on Broadway. Wait, so you're the
Takes
mannequin.
a lot of talent. No,
it's a spoiler. You're like, and then you like, it's a spoiler. Actually, we shouldn't be revealing it. The magic of Phantom.
But I got to, you have to be there for a while.
You stand there frozen, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't you like do that and then you're like stuck there?
Hard on the old lower back.
That's
that was something.
The show's going on. You're standing there in the dark. I love that. That's a great bit.
I know. It was fun. It was such a fun first show. I mean, because
it was like the hottest thing. I mean, it was like you landed like the hottest role on Broadway.
Crazy. I'd walk down the street with the Phantom of the Opera, the black satin Phantom of the Opera show
I love the jacket.
Loved it. I think I gave it to a flea market, but I wish I still had mine. Literally, cabs and strangers would stop you and ask for tickets to the show. You go, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was that. It was the Hamilton it was the Hamilton of the time. Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah,
if not more so.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. And you went on with Michael Crawford, right?
Went on with Michael Crawford my first time. I was still in the ensemble when I went on the first time.
And Judy Kay, who helped you get an agent.
And Judy Kay, who helped. Yes, thank you, Judy Kay. Yes.
Now, a lot of people I know talk about your next show because of Secret Garden.
Yes.
Oh wow, you were Lily in Secret Garden.
Yes.
I just went down a Secret Garden spiral recently when I went to see the concert they did.
Yes.
But it made me like. I was, again, listening to that album, and I mean, I saw you in the Secret Garden originally so many times because the score is so gorgeous, and I went totally down a spiral of that show.
Isn't it amazing?
Oh my God, it's gorgeous.
That show changed my life. It was my first original role on Broadway, A, and B, it was just the most magical, beautiful show. What's
your favorite thing you've done? Because you've done a lot of shows, as we mentioned. In the intro, like if you just had to say, or like what was the thing you're most proud of, or just something that just like jumps to mind?
I guess I would have to say The Music Man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bierko.
I really, that show has been very special in my life since college. I did it in college when I was 19, and I just it was just a wonderful experience, all the way around, from the audition through doing it and just everything.
You did a show called Time and Again. Remember that show? You did that out with the Old Globe?
At the Old Globe. That's,
right.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in that show.
Yeah.
A certain guy who we all know and love, Mr. Danny Burstein.
Yes.
Your husband.
He was.
You may know him as Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof.
Exactly.
But you didn't see that coming, right? Tevye. I mean,
did not see that coming.
They did not see that coming. It was such great, brilliant casting. And
yeah, at this point in his life, it seems to be perfect for him.
Yeah. So what's it like living with Tevye now?
It's awesome.
I mean, very hairy, I know.
He's very hairy, which I think is sweet. I think he's sexy no matter what he looks like, you know. But he's very tired because he does 8 shows a week of this gigantic part. So he can't talk a lot. So he comes home and I'm a pretty good lip reader at this point. And also he found this app on his phone called Speak For Me.
Oh my God.
So he types things into his phone and his phone talks to me.
So you're in a marriage with Danny Burstein's phone.
And yes, and it happens to be a British male voice. So I love you. You know, I get that. And then, you know, you crazy wench, I get that too. You know, he types in these crazy things that he says all the time. He's got a slight thyroid thing that's called Hashimoto's.
Oh my God.
He even typed in, I have Hashimoto's. So he says that to me all the time. I go, I know you do. I know you do, honey. I'm so sorry. You'll be fine.
Wow, that's crazy.
We have a fun life.
People don't realize
We
what
laugh.
Broadway actors go through to
laugh
give
a
all
lot.
that on stage. I mean, it's crazy.
And he can't even talk to his wife.
Oh my God.
It's very funny.
So you did the show with him, and I know you guys were friends. You sort of hit it off as friends.
Yes,
and
we
did. You immediately go that guy's cool. I like that guy.
Oh, immediately, yes.
Yeah.
We immediately liked each other. We all became friends. I think there was a clique of about 5 people, Howard McGillen and Jessica Molaski and me and George Dvorsky and Danny.
Right.
And we were just inseparable, the 5 of us, and still are really. And yeah, I immediately liked Danny. And we were very good friends for about 1.5 years, and then things in our lives changed, and we were able to date and go out, and who knew that he was my soulmate.
I know, it's awesome.
That he would be.
And you're one of my favorite couples.
Oh, thank you.
Just adorable.
He's you know, the best part of my life. You know,
Yeah.
he's the best of us, the 2 of us.
What is it like, you two preparing every year to go to the Tony Awards as nominees? And,
Oh, God, every
you
year.
You have 8 nominations
It's such
between
a-
the 2 of you. I don't know if
That's
you-
right. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
8 nominations between the 2 of you. It's just always a thing, right? It's like,
Well, I
let's
mean,
go to the party again.
oh,
and-
are you kidding? It's always amazing. We're always come up. We know we're always amazed when one of us gets a nomination and we get invited to the party, and you know.
And it's so great that you guys are both on Broadway again together at the same time for a little while.
It's awesome.
Would you ever do like a big musical together?
Oh yeah.
Like, I know, you guys were on Law and Order recently together.
We were. We played a husband and wife on Law and Order. It was so fun.
So would you ever like? Is that sort of weird to think about, or?
No, I think I would love to work with Danny, but you know, on a logistical basis, it's almost, I'd almost prefer not to. I'd almost prefer that one of us was at home maybe, or while the other one was working, or one of us was, I don't know. I'm not sure how that would work in our lives, but I love working with him.
Right.
Whenever he makes me better when I work with him.
Is there a show that like jumps out as a series? Be like, that's the one we would do.
You know, what I actually my mind goes to is some kind of drama, or I'd even love to do some kind of crazy comedy with him, like a Noel Coward piece or something.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I would love to do that. Really act with him.
Do you guys sing duets at home ever? When he's
Sure.
not doing Fiddler?
Oh, sure. You know, we
Yeah.
have a piano, and he's very good. He plays by ear, of course. You know, what can't he do? And we sit there and, you know, sing and harmonize and sing Beatles. He likes to play Beatles songs a lot. And yeah, he's great.
That's awesome. I'm so thrilled for
great.
both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. I adore you.
Thank
And everyone
you
check out Fun
too.
Home through May 22nd. And then you can go after. And Judy Kuhn is fabulous too. Go now and then go again.
Here.
Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Thank
Good to see you.
you. You too.
Thank you for watching. See you next time.